Aloha, everyone. Thanks again for coming back for the April 2021 market report. I'm Mike Drutar, principal broker and owner of NextHome Paradise Realty in Kailua, Kona, Hawaii. Big thanks to everyone who subscribed. I hit 500 subscribers. It's a big milestone for me. I'd love to make it to 1,000. If you're not a subscriber, click the subscribe button right now. Ring the bell and you'll get notifications of when I put out new videos. Every week, just about, we're uploading new property tours, also real estate strategies, and of course our monthly market update. So looking at April of 2021 is going to be a little bit different now, and it's going to be different for a while. We can't really compare year-over-year data anymore because around this time last year, the data went down for reasons that we all know, and now the data is really high. So it doesn't really make much sense to compare year-over-year data. Even though the market is hot, it'll make it look even more hot than it really is, as though that's possible. So we're going to look at it over a long period of time. I got a couple charts that I think you're going to really like. We're going to look at the median price and how that's changed over the last few months. We're also going to take a look at a couple different market segments. There's a myth out there that certain segments of the market are probably coming up higher than others. And things are happening maybe a little bit counterintuitively. I think you're really going to be interested in seeing some of the data that we have. Okay, so first things first, let's just take a look at monthly data. Got it up on the screen here for you. North Kona residential, we had 75 houses sold. That was 3 more than last month. We're only going to compare to the previous month. The median price, $999,000. That's up 6.9% in a month. Total volume, 143.5 million. That's actually down 16%. In the North Kona condo market, we had 83 condos sold in the month of April. That was actually the same as March. As you know, if you've been watching these videos for a while, the condo market has come back with a vengeance. Median price for the month of April, $450,000. That's up 5.5% over March. And total volume, $47.9 million. That's down 27%. Moving up the coast to South Kohala, residential, again, smaller market. We just don't see listings up there. I think we could have a much stronger market there than we're seeing. There's just not enough to sell. Houses sold, we had 30 last month compared to 29 the month before. Median price, $777,000. That's up 4.2%. We actually had a higher volume there, $43.7 million. That's up 24%. So maybe some more higher end sales for the South Kohala residential market. And then finally, the South Kohala condo market, 52 condos sold. That's up 5 units. $789,000 was the median price. That's up 14% over the prior month. And total volume, we saw really healthy volume there as well. 57.1 million, that's up 42.3%. This next chart that you see here, this should be a pretty interesting one. We're going all the way back to January of 2020. We have a lot going on in this chart, so let me show you what we have. The bars that you see coming up from the bottom, the yellow sections, those represent the number of sales of houses in North Kona and South Kohala under $1.5 million. The gray section represents the number of sales over $1.5 million. What I'm wanting to show you here is how much increase we've seen in the upper end market. Now, prices have gone up. The median is higher than it used to be. So it stands to reason that you're going to have more sales at a higher price as prices go up, but it seems to be happening at an inordinate number. We can look back in January of last year, we had 11 sales of over 1.5 million and 65 under 1.5 million. After March, we see the dip that happened. We all know why that's happening, but you can see how things are coming back with a vengeance starting in June of 2020, and it really goes and follows a pretty solid trend line when you look at those bars on the bottom to where we are in the last couple months. March and April of 2021, we're seeing nearly 30 units sold over $1.5 million. So you see the gray section taking up a lot more of that total bar than the yellow section as time moves on. And then the line that we're looking at on top, you see that orange line that kind of goes up and down and curves a little bit. That's the median price for that month. And you can see that we had a little bit of a 4 or 5 months of where it went down as supply or as sales were starting to come up. And then the market seemed to realize that this is a run, and you see a big jump from August to September, and then a pretty sustainable, nice, steady rise from them with some ups and downs But you see the trend line, that straight line that's on there as well. That really shows you kind of the increase in market that we're seeing. So that's the median price of houses combined, North Kona and South Kohala. The next chart I'm going to show you is really going to blow you away. Here is that same chart, those bars all on the bottom, those are all the exact same as we saw on the previous chart. What I'm showing you here is a different line. I was wondering, where is the luxury market? Because it seems like we're seeing a lot of luxury sales, a lot more than we used to. And I chose an arbitrary number, and I said the luxury market is the top 10%. That 90th percentile is where we're going to draw the line of where the luxury market is. Now, you don't have as much data on a month-to-month basis for this. It's not as clean as median. So I used a 3-month rolling average. So each dot that you see here, starting with $1.8 million in January of 2020, that is the 90th percentile sale over January of 2020, December of 2019, and November of 2019. And as we move along each month, it just moves down 3 more months. So we have a larger pool of data to figure out where that 90th percentile sale is, where the luxury market starts. And you can see we're at 1.8, 1.9 million. We saw a big drop, big drop when March comes along, and we see it kind of flattening out in the $1.37 million range. And then we see an incredible run up that's been going on for months and months. It went up and kind of went down again, and then it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in a row, 7 months in a row of positive movement, to the point where the 90th percentile in April of 2020 was 1.375 million. Now the 90th percentile is $2.85 million, more than double, a pretty incredible number. This next chart I'm going to show you is just a pie chart. We're looking at January, February, March of 2020. How many sales, what percentage of sales were over 1.5 million and what percentage were under 1.5 million? You can see that 91% of sales were under 1.5 million and only 8.6 were above 1.5 million. Now we're going to look at that same thing, but for the last 3 months. So February, March, and April of 2021, 1.5 million. If you're under 1.5 million, that only represented 74.7% of the sales. Now, over 1.5 million has represented 25.3% of the sales, almost exactly triple what it used to be, a significant increase. And now this final chart for the residential market that I want to show you represents a couple different things here. The blue line that you see is the median price increase from 2019, that's that first plot. 2020 is the second plot. And then the last 12 months, so May of 2020 through the end of April of 2021, the median price change is that blue line. Over that entire period, that 16-month period, that represents 24%. That luxury market that I was talking about, that's gone up 67% since 2019. Pretty astounding numbers. If you think about that kind of a return, 67% on a secured asset like real estate in 16 months is completely unheard of. And I'll tell you, a lot of those sales, the lion's share, are all cash. There is a lot of cash coming into this market. Now, I also want to pay attention to the gray line on the bottom. Aside from looking at the luxury sales, I also want to say, well, how much is the floor of the market moving up? We hear so much about, no one can afford anything at the lower end of the market. The lower end has gone up so much. Well, as it turns out, not as much as the rest of the market. That gray line with 19% increase over that same 16-month period, which is still high, that's the bottom 25 percentile. The 25th percentile from the bottom of the market, that's that sale. So in 2019, the 25th percentile from the bottom was $525,000. In 2020 was $590,000. And as we stand over the last 12 months, it's $625,000. So a little bit counterintuitively, people think the floor of the market is coming up at a higher rate and a higher pace than the median price or the top of the market. Is actually not true. A total myth, and the data plays it out. And our last chart, you're done with charts, I know it. The last chart for the day, now we're looking at all that same time period starting in January of 2020. We're looking at number of sales, just like we did before, but right now we're looking at condos in North Kona and South Kohala. Instead of at 1.5 million, we're going to have the gray section, the luxury section, defined as $750,000 or more. We can still see that prices are going up. We see our trend line moving up. Interestingly, in the last 4 months, even though we've seen so many sales in this segment, we're seeing a little bit of a flattening out, though a pretty steady number of what the median price is for condos. So this is actually a little bit of a good sign. This is reflective of a more balanced market. We're not seeing the massive rise. That could all change next month. That $515,000 median price could be $570,000 next month. Who knows? We'll have to take a look at it. We are also seeing the same increase in the units of expensive condos sold compared to the rest of the condo market. You see it in this as well, that gray bar taking up much more of the bar than it did previously. So people are spending a lot of money, they're bringing a lot of money into this market. I don't expect that to change anytime soon. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this month's episode. If you're in the market, you know someone who's in the market, please give them my information. If you'd like to talk real estate, whether you're looking here in Hawaii or anywhere, I'm always available. I love to talk real estate with you anytime. Look for more videos coming out later this week. Be sure to click subscribe. Looking forward to seeing you all again in the future and getting back to work. Aloha guys.